So we have very popular applications being shut down. We have ridiculously popular streaming applications being shut down. The news always seems to go in one direction. However, today I do have some other news whereby Xtream Codes, a very popular management application, has been deemed completely lawful. So 100% legal, not doing anything wrong. And this massive case that happened during 2019 where it was shut down, all of their assets were seized, all of that has now been reversed. So a very interesting story posted on Torrent Freak. We can see that the company behind Xtream Codes, which is an IPTV management system, was previously shut down as part of a massive law operation, law enforcement back in 2019, and they're now reporting that as a significant win. So not only do they get access to their assets, but any revenue that was previously generated, which was held by the authorities, that has now also been released. And what actually happened is back in September 2019, there was a big operation by the law enforcement agency, the GDF, which was under the authority of the Ministry of Economy and Finance, reported that they were targeting the IPTV management system, Xtream Codes, and all of its operators. Now, in terms of numbers, they apparently had 700,000 people using their platform, but ultimately this affected 50 million end users. So you can imagine with those kind of numbers why it became very popular, and because certain authorities deemed that it was providing access to illegal content, they tried their best to shut this down. And this is what really brings up that interesting argument where if you know this system, this Xtream Code system does not provide any content, does not give you anything free out of the box, but of course you can use it to give access or provide access to IPTV streams. Now, very similar to FileLink or any of these other stores, the application itself does not give you access to any applications, any streaming applications, but you as an end user or as an admin, you can create a custom store and add as many streaming applications as you like and then share your code with other people. But is that really the fault of the creator of the software? Because he's just provided a platform, and if you want to, you can have a store with completely official applications, with utilities, with wallpaper. But as we saw with FileLink and some of these other applications, the pressure came from the authorities, and as the application was so popular, but then you can imagine when the pressure comes from these massive streaming organizations, these big media companies, they really can apply the pressure, and if you don't have the money or the willpower to fight them, in many cases you just accept the deal, you shut down your application, and you move on to other things. Now further down here it says that, and this is the key thing here guys, so Xtream Codes was essentially just a management system, and it again provided no content whatsoever. So really, how can you take them to court? How can you shut them down? How can you give them a fine? They just provided a management system, and it's up to the end user or the admin to do what he wants with the system. And it says that after staying quiet for over a year, Xtream Codes Limited, who were the company behind this application, they basically explained that they were going through some court proceedings in Italy, and they said that following an earlier appeal, the Court of Appeals of Naples found that there was no evidence to show that Xtream Codes Limited had acted illegally at any time between 2015 and 2019. So because there was no evidence, because there was nothing put forward, the court basically decided that this company, Xtream Codes, hasn't done anything wrong. So in summary, that no evidence was provided to show that any revenue generated by Xtream Codes was illegal. An appeal by the prosecutor to the Italy Supreme Court was also dismissed. So you can see why they're celebrating. They've got access to their revenue, they've got access to their assets, and they can now hopefully continue providing a service to their customers. And they're saying that all revenue seized by the authorities was deemed lawful by the court, and it's now been released. So you can imagine with that kind of customer base, with those kind of numbers, they're going to receive a sizable chunk of money, which was previously held by the authorities. But again, because it's now deemed that they did nothing wrong, all of that money was obtained legally, they can now access that money again. And they're also hoping that being branded as a pirate service by the authorities and also anti-piracy groups will now also be a thing of the past. So you can see guys why it was a win for the other side, because typically, as you see with all of these articles, it's always a case of this application is being shut down, or this service is now stopped, or this has been taken offline. This website providing access to certain content has also been taken offline. So having news constantly like that, it was quite refreshing to hear something like this where a company just making management software has now been fully cleared, and rightly so. And I also think that applications like file linked do not provide access to any illegal content out of the box. There's no reason why they should have been banned. They should have been allowed to go back onto the Amazon App Store as well as the Google Play Store, because again, all they're providing is just a management framework, and it's really up to the end user to decide which applications he wants to use or which applications he wants to share. That's really up to him. I mean, this is like, the Amazon App Store or the Google Play Store banning a browser because somebody may use a browser to access illegal content. So I can't really see that happening. Similarly, there's no way an application like file linked or anything like that should have been removed. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I just thought I'd share this good news with you. Do leave me a comment below if you ever heard of this system, if you're currently using it. Do leave me a comment below, let me know, and I'll hopefully catch up with you guys real soon. Thanks.